Hurricane Idalia is making landfall in Florida this morning as a powerful Category 3 storm.
CNN's Ivan Rodriguez is live in Crystal River this morning. It's about 250 kilometers southeast of Big Bend, but we know the storm is now making landfall. So, Ivan, what's the situation like where you are right now?
Nick, Eden, good morning. That's exactly right. We've just learned minutes ago that the hurricane has made landfall near Keaton Beach in that Florida Big Bend region as a Category 3 storm. Maximum sustained winds right now of 125 miles per hour with even stronger gusts. Now, in terms of Crystal River, Florida, about 60 miles away from Cedar Key, another city that was hit hard, especially by those winds and heavy rain by the hurricane as it passed through. We're seeing some winds, really calm though right now. We might expect a little bit more rain, but really not as much by the little bit of outer band from the storm that we have left. Now, moving forward throughout the day, the biggest concern for officials, as they've said repeatedly, is going to be that threat of storm surge. A little drizzle coming down as we speak now as well. But at noon, we're looking at high tide. So that coupled with the threat of storm surge could be potentially catastrophic for many areas. We're already seeing the effect of the storm surge in different communities throughout Florida's Gulf Coast. We've seen new water record levels in the Tampa Bay area, 4 to 5 feet of storm surge there. Other areas is Clearwater Beach, 6 feet of storm surge. So we're almost seeing a domino effect as it continues to head up that coastline in terms of what we're seeing for storm surge.
Now, we heard an update from DeSantis a little earlier this morning, and he was warning about floods, heavy flooding in and around the area, and also power loss. So what kind of preventative measures are you seeing taking place now?
And you're right, here in Crystal River, we're seeing still, we're in a flood zone. We're in a flood zone and we're also in an evacuation zone. We're seeing some cars actually out on the roads. They were mixed in with a lot of fire personnel, but really this is some of the most traffic that we've seen all morning as well. Looks like that's some sort of law enforcement vehicle passing by as well. But I mentioned that because a key point that was made by authorities leading into today is even though the hurricane continues its trajectory through Georgia, through the Carolinas and into the Atlantic, that storm surge threat isn't going to be coming necessarily until after we're seeing the impact of rain and the impact of wind. So that is a growing concern now, and really we're going to have to wait and see exactly what that threat is. But again, they have suggested to many people not to come rushing back in to check in on their belongings and their home if they were able to evacuate.
And Ivan, how seriously are the Floridians in the area you are right now seem to be taking this? Because, of course, hurricanes are not unusual in Florida, and some people say, I'm just going to hunker down and try to live through it.
That's definitely something that we've heard from people. And earlier we mentioned Governor DeSantis. He also brought up the point that many, he said, chose to heed the advice of these officials, seek higher ground and evacuate. But here where we are in Citrus County, we spoke with the director of emergency management, and he mentioned that across their shelter system, there's only about 200 people who are staying in their shelters, and he was wondering where the other 18,000 people who live in this region have gone. He was hoping that they all evacuated on time, which was yesterday, but you begin to just imagine that there has to be a large chunk of population that maybe stayed behind, unless all other 18,000 or 17,000 or so decided to evacuate. It's almost hard to imagine, because especially we are seeing cars on the road. It's not like it's been completely empty.
Yeah.
Well, we're seeing live shots now of Gainesville, and the flooding is intense, so it's hard to believe that so many people might still be deciding to stay in the area. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez in Crystal River, thank you for the update.